All right, Dutchman Mods and Repairs. We got a video here, 2003 Mitsubishi Outlander. Problem we got is the passenger side windshield wiper is not moving. The driver's side does, passenger side does not. And a couple of things that I've noticed here. If you come in here and you look, I'm gonna see if I can get the profile. You can see here the distance between the driver side, like knuckle here, and the hood. And let's just look down there. Not that it's going to tell us anything, but definitely clear sure. But then look, let's just take a look over here. We got a witness mark on the hood there, and that knuckle is right up on the hood. So a couple things we're going to do. We're going to look at the nut there to see if it's tight. The splines inside are on the wiper blade itself, which are down in there, to make sure they're kind of like gears, to make sure they're not wore out. We're going to check this bolt here too, just to see, make sure is there any possible way it got loose and worked out, and therefore the spline, there's not good contact there between the splines. So we'll check that out here in just a sec. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this little, there's a plastic cap that goes over a nut. We're going to get that off. We're going to take the nut off, and I'll get you those sizes here in just a second. We're going to check a couple things. One is the wiper blade itself, and the reason I'm saying that is I turned that a little bit, so it tells me, and it kind of jammed up. So I think it's loose and pinched. And what that might be telling me is this blade here, the splines on the blade that mesh with the spline on the shaft that rotates. If this got loose here so that the blade pushed out, it could be over time that those blades, just with pressure on the windshield wiper as it was going up and down, has worn the splines out on the wiper arm itself. That's my gut feeling. But what we'll do is we'll get this off. We're going to check the splines, but then we're also going to functionally check to see if the shaft for the wiper blade itself is rotating, as if it should be turning a blade. If that is, then we know that everything, linkages and everything else underneath are okay. And then if the splines on the wiper arm itself are worn out, then we can pretty much, we know exactly what's going on here. So let's get that off. All right, so we're gonna get this cap off. Ooh, and it's brittle. But I thought that thing's been under the sun a while. I just took a little screwdriver like this, a little flat tip, and find a safe place for that. We don't want that knocking just anywhere. And then, let's see what's that. Okay, 12 millimeter. Yeah, that's loose. There's a goose. 12 millimeter nut. You're out of the way. And that just lifts out. Oh, if you look down there, see where it's a little bit shiny? And then just beyond that, you can see what looked like little lines. Let's see if I can. Oops, hold on. I'm trying to get a good, and I'm going to use my flat tip screwdriver here. I'll come in from the other side. If you look kind of where my screwdriver is going, you just see what almost look like little scratches. You can just see what should have been splines in there. Okay? And those are like teeth. And if you look at the shaft here, see down in there? See that? Whoops. I always hate trying to find orientation. Come on, camera. See right down there at the bottom? You see those like little teeth? That's what's supposed to mesh with the blade. So I think we need a new wiper arm. All right, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna turn the wipers on and we should see the shaft turning. Go ahead. Here we go, keep going. All right, so that lets us know all the linkage underneath is fine. It just confirms the splines down there are good. We gotta clean that all up down there. And what we have down inside there is just junk. So we gotta go get a new wiper arm, and my daughter's car will not look goofy going down the road. All right, so just a side note here, went online to the box stores to get a replacement part for these windshield wiper arms. None of them had it in stock. Could order it, but the picture also was a little deceiving. It looked like kind of like a, you know, 911 on the side of the road type general wiper arm you could throw in your car, and I didn't want to do that. And it was like 60 bucks. And what I did, and this is something you can keep in mind too, is I went and looked at the local salvage yard, kind of one of these little go and pick your own part out, pay a couple bucks to get in. Looked and saw that they had a couple of Mitsubishi Outlanders on there, and went and got one. And it cost me $2. Okay, so something I want to point out again here as we get in here and look at this stuff. I'm hoping the light can show this. It's really, really hard. You'll be able to see it when I show the other one, but you can see that basically the whole inside of that is very few like spline marks and like wiped smooth. Okay, and I come over to the one I got off the lot there, and you can see the spline marks. Okay, so that means that this one here has, you know, it's been solid, it's been in place, hasn't been loose. The one over here, when it got loose on the splines on the car, it just wiped this out. This metal must be maybe a soft metal, but regardless, when it got loose, it just smeared it out, basically, just wore it out. And the thing to keep in mind, I want to try and show you on this, the spline, is you should be able to tell that there's a little bit of a cone look to the bottom of those splines. So when you're looking at, right, it's trying to, you see the threads where the nut screws in right below the splines, and you can see it's a little bit of a cone shape. So that arm, it presses down. You want it pulled down on that spline, and kind of like snugged in there really, really good. You're kind of cinching it into those splines and holding it in place. And if that comes loose, one of two things can happen. If it's bad enough, you can actually get the splines here that will wear on you. And then it's hit or miss whether you actually would be able to get a tight enough grip with the thread pushing down. Because if there's no taper, it's pretty much flat. You're probably going to have to replace that whole mechanism, which is another big project. So let's go in and get the one from the salvage yard on here. Torque spec is anywhere from 20 to 25 foot-pounds. I don't have my torque wrench with me. I'm at the house, not at the shop. So I'm going to just kind of feel it. And you all who work on cars, you know what I mean when something's kind of feeling like, okay, it's good enough. You don't want to, ape this thing down. Just good and snug. If you have thread lock, it'd be a good idea to put that on the nut. Just one or two drops of some a thread lock, Loctite, something like that on there, and that'll help too. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to take this back off and redo it at the shop, but I wanted to capture the video and get it uploaded tonight. So just kind of talking through what I'm doing here. Okay, first things first is if your hood is down, we want to get the hood back up. Get your wiper arm down in here and get that pre-positioned, and you want to get it lined up, as best as possible. You don't want to go low, and you don't want to go real high, because you do have kind of some different angles you can put this in. And so you don't want to go, too far down on it. And we're gonna look at this right now, kind of see how that might be with the hood. A little tight there. We might rotate that up a little bit. Alright, so I basically went and adjusted this about where I think it's going to be the best. And when I tighten this arm down, when I pull that nut down, it is going to push it down just, it's going to push it down just a little bit. So let's get the nut on there. And you could use a wrench or a socket. I've got a wrench. Probably gonna wish I had a socket. Okay, we're gonna call that good. Alright, we're just going to put the little plastic cap back on there and test her out. Alright, so let's test it out. There we go. Now that windshield wiper is actually, it's a little higher than what I would want it. But I'm going to leave it like that just for now because you can see on the hood here there's a little rust spot. And I think that's from when that wiper arm came loose and was kind of, the knuckle was rubbing up on there. So I'll need to close the hood, kind of check it out. But I'm going to leave it like that for now, and I may adjust that a little bit later if my daughter doesn't like it up there. It's not a big deal. All right, so I hope this helps somebody out. Just a quick job. It really didn't take that long. Just remember to go through and check all those steps out. Make sure you check everything. Kind of evaluate what really is broke. Don't assume the worst. In this case, it was I like the $2 fixes. So again, hope this helps somebody out. Hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave those down below. We always like to do our best to get back on those and answer or respond to comments. And subscribe to the channel if you like the content here and you like what you're seeing and hearing. Have a good one.